3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30 seconds song. Hey everybody, it's Ice Cat here with another video tutorial. We are actually going to be looking into making an overlay for Twitch using the Steam game called Terraria. This is something that I do on my computer. Very, very cool, very, very easy to use. We'll be using another program called TEdit, which is basically a world editor for Terraria itself. And it's almost like a Photoshop for Terraria. Very, very cool things that you can do with it. A fun tool to mess around with. And what we'll be doing is we'll be making, or I'll at least show you what I've made in TEdit, and then we'll bring it into Terraria, and we'll use Terraria's camera mode to capture an image, and then we'll put that image into Photoshop, which will doctor up a little bit, and then we'll actually bring it into OBS to use as our overlay. So very, very cool video today, so let's just jump right into it. First things first, what we want to do is let's get up a desktop here, so turn that off, put my webcam, let's do this. There we go. So what we're going to actually end up doing here is, first and foremost, we need to find out, where do we go? How do we find the program TEdit? Well, it's pretty easy. All you have to do is just in Google or whatever, just type in binaryconstruct.com. And you can find TEdit. You could look up TEdit on Google. Either one will bring you to the website, but Binary Construct is the actual name of the website. These people are awesome. They put a lot of hard work into this, so that's kind of also one of the reasons why I wanted to feature this program, because it's very cool. What you would want to do is you can click on the downloads here, basically download the version that you want. It is going to be in a zip file, so you will need something to unzip that. You can easily find an unzipping tool like 7-Zip online. I recommend 7-Zip because it's free, it's pretty lightweight, and it basically can unzip anything that you throw at it from what I've seen. But download one of these files. I downloaded one of the later ones. If you get one of the newer ones, sometimes it can be a little shaky. Once you have that downloaded, you're going to unzip it to whatever folder that you would like on your computer. And when you open up the actual folder, it is going to look something similar to this. I want to make sure that I do not have the overlay still on like I did last time in the video, because I don't want to do this again. Basically what we have here is just a list of all the files. The one that you're going to want to click on is TEdit xna.exe. You can see it has this little icon here with a tree and the desert. Very, very neat, I guess. I don't know, whatever. Just double click on that and it'll open up TEdit for you. I already have it open. I don't want two versions of it. You're going to click no. I don't really want two versions of TEdit open. It asked me if I wanted to download the latest update. I don't want to, because the one I have right now is good. So we'll just leave it as it is. If it works, why fix it? What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to import a world into TEdit. A few things before we actually get into this that I want to just kind of go over. Number one, very, very important. Very, very important. Do you see me moving my hands? That means it's very, very, very important. Listen to me. Basically, what you want to do is you want to copy your worlds from Terraria onto a safe place, into another folder, onto, let's say, a USB drive, onto an external drive, onto a CD, onto a floppy disk, whatever. Basically, you want to have those worlds saved just in case that you mess up, because this program right here can definitely mess up your world. What I actually would recommend doing, being smart, as well as having it backed up, you also should start a whole new world in Terraria that you can use primarily to build your items. And then afterwards, once you actually kind of get the hang of what Terraria does and you know how to recover from any mess ups that you do in the world, then you can actually like copy and paste, or save it as what's called a schematic, and then import that schematic into your real, the world that you play on the most, to have those items. Or you can take it back and forth from your inventory in game. Either way. But very important, back up your worlds. I've had it before where I did not back up my world. Yeah, not so good. Not so fun. I had to restart. So, with that said, let's continue on here. Let's go back to our desktop, get rid of my webcam here, bring up TEdit. Basically what we're seeing on the left hand side here is all your tools. It's kind of like Photoshop, but with a little bit less tools. You basically have your your new, open, save, your zoom in, zoom out, undo, redo, delete, copy and paste, your selection tool. You have a picker, which lets you pick the colors, or I guess you would call them maybe tiles and walls, I think is what they're called here. This is a pencil. This is a brush tool, which you can adjust to have a different size brushes. And this is the fill tool. This is to place any sprites, or I'm sorry, not sprites, but any spawn points on your on your world. And this is for sprites. Basically, sprites are anything that's in game, so you can put torches, you can put benches, you can do all sorts of things. And then this is basically the morph tool, which I've never used, to be honest. And just kind of take a look over here. You can change all the different things in the world. This isn't really a TEdit tutorial, but it's very cool, worth looking into. You can change the the rain, the time of day, which we'll be changing here, the world name. If you look here, we'll be kind of using some sprites as well, if they'll load, which they take forever to load because there's a lot of them. You can see you have the grass, you have your torches, basically have trees, doors, anything that you can think of that's in the game you can place in here. So what we'll do first is let's open a file. First we need to know where to go to open the file. We need to know where the worlds in Terraria are stored. Easy to find, probably easier than what you would expect. Most of the time the saves are going to be under my documents, basically under your documents folder in Windows, and then it is under my games, and then under Terraria, and then right here you see captures, players, and worlds. Captures is what we'll look into a little bit later. Players, I wouldn't mess with that too much unless you want your player to be deleted. And then worlds. This is where you're going to go to back up your worlds. If you click on that, you can see all these TEdit ones. That's just a bunch of junk left over. I can always delete that at some point in time, which I might do, but the main ones you're going to want to back up are going to be the BAK files and the WLD files. The WLD files are your world files. Those are very, very important. The backups are good to have too. Just put those on a flash drive, floppy disk. Who uses floppy disk anymore? Put it in the cloud, put it wherever, somewhere safe. That way, if you mess up your world, you can always put that file back in your worlds and start from scratch. And then you don't have to start from all the way from scratch. So what you're going to do, this is where you find your world. So let's go into TEdit. Let's minimize this. We're in TEdit. Let's go open. And it's already going to be, for me, it's already going to be at the Terraria worlds right in here. I'm going to click on Builder World, which is my world that I created just specifically for building, and we'll look into that. And sometimes you can find builder worlds and that sort of thing online that you can actually download and bring in that other people have created that basically have all the, all your earth elements, all your ores, basically all weapons, any banners. I mean, you can find everything in the game. Um, with something like that, I don't really consider it cheating. I don't use it to cheat, but I mostly use it to build things because I don't have a whole lot of time. I work full time. Some of you might be students, some of you might have nothing to do, so you have time to build it. But this is a very helpful tool that I really, really like that, kind of helps you progress through the game a little bit quicker. That way you're not spending like, oh, I think I have 900 hours on this game. It's crazy. So let's kind of get into what this is. This is basically your world right here. You can go back and forth and you can see this world, there's not much in it. There's just this big area here and this area here. This area here is basically my pre-set up overlays that we have, and this is just something that the builder of this world made. What we'll do is let's zoom in here real quick into taking a look at what this is all about. Basically you can see that there's the stone down here and the background, and then I did some ice, just kind of some lettering. Let's just quick kind of do a little mini tutorial here on what this is all about. Let's just build a quick house. We're going to use the selection tool, which is one of my favorite tools to use. Let's just build some dirt and some grass and then a little house. So we're going to fill it. Up here you have your tiles, you have your walls. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fill it with a dirt block, which I already have selected here, and you can see because it's check marked up here and check marked up here. So we're going to fill this little selection with dirt, and let's give it some grass. I'm going to hit Control D to deselect, and this is one of the things that you want to really watch out for. How I said you could really mess up your world. Well, this can cause an issue. Now if you zoom out, we're going to see that everything in the sky is filled with grass. I don't like that. It's filled with dirt, filled with grass. That's not really what I wanted. So when you spawn, you're going to have to dig your way through it. Could be fun. I don't like it. Thankfully, TEdit made this program where you can undo it. So it might take a second and it's back to sky, which is great. So if you mess up, make sure you do that. If you go past that, I don't know how many undos you get, so just be careful. That's why we back up our worlds. So I'm going to take my selection tool and go here. I'm going to fill this in. And then let's see, let's change it to stone. To a stone block. I'm going to Control D to deselect. Hit my selection tool again. And let's just make it this big here. And I'm going to fill this in with stone block. And then I'm going to take my selection tool once more. If I can click on it, there it goes. And we'll just go over here. It's not going to be picture perfect or anything like that, but I'll make a nice enough one here. And then what we do is, since we had that selected, this is the nice part that you can do. Any selection you can actually erase or draw in or fill in. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the eraser and make sure stone block is fixed. And we're going to fill that in so it's nothing but sky, and then easy peasy we uncheck tile, and put the eraser back to regular so it's not an eraser, and we pick our wall. We want a Stonewall Jackson, and then we fill that in. Bam, just like that, we have a building. Now we can add sprites for doors and that sort of thing, so let's actually just add a rich mahogany door, and that'll be a sprite. And we're going to zoom in a bit so we can see what we're doing here. And I'm going to put this door right there. And we'll go over here. Rather than wait forever, let's do that. And we'll put a door right here. So now we have a door. Let's grab some torches. You can look it up here. Oh, it's torch, not ES. My bad. There we go. Add some torches so we can see when we walk into our building. I'll put one there. I'll put one here, 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 here. And then, you know, like I said, you can add just whatever else you want. So let's add one or two other things just for simplicity's sake here. Let's add like a bed. Oh, now it's, hold on, I'm giving it too many things to do here. Let's just add a bed. And we'll actually make a spawn point here so our character spawns inside of this when we want them to. The points, basically you can spawn whatever you want here, any NPC. I'm just going to spawn myself, and we're going to spawn myself right next to my bed like I just woke up from a good night's sleep. So we got that. Basically that's our house. Kind of a quick tutorial on how to make things. What I made is I took some time and I made this really cool looking overlay here. Actually not really cool, pretty freaking basic, but it works for what I need it to. I'm going to just fill this in real quick here so that it's even. So let's do the fill. Got our stone walls. Bam, done. Fill this little area in here. Control D. There we go. And actually, I'm going to set my spawn point instead inside of here. Oh, that's my bad. There we go. Spawn. I'm going to put my spawn point right about here so that I end up being in here so I can show you what we're going to do. We'll look at the house a little bit later, maybe at the end. But I kind of want to make this tutorial move along a little bit. So with that all done, let's say you're done doing all this. The reason that I leave this blank here is because I want to put a webcam under that in OBS Studio, so I don't put anything there that's going to be transparent. We'll edit that out in Photoshop. So we'll go File, we'll save it. And it's saved, so we can close that out. Excuse me. And let's turn off the webcam here real quick so you can see everything that's going on. Turn that off and turn off my webcam box. There we go. No webcam. And what we're going to do is let's open up Terraria. And it's going to take just a second to do here. While it's taking a second to do, I'm going to actually play maybe a track. Just because I found a whole bunch of royalty-free music today and I want to play some of it. Let's turn this down a bit. Maybe if I can get it to work. There we go. We're going to put that on. Turn on nice and soft, maybe about there. And controls. We'll just repeat that through the whole thing here. And there we go. We got a little bit of music going. Hopefully it's not too loud, not too quiet, but whatevs. So what we're going to do here is basically... Hold on, that's super distracting. There we go. What we're going to do is we're going to go into Terraria. Single player. I'm going to pick my character with wings so I can fly around a bit. Build his workshop. That's where I created the thing that I want. And you can see here basically that I've got this kind of going on here. What I can do is, one thing I forgot to do in TEdit was to switch it to night. I like to actually take these photographs with the camera in Terraria at night because it just makes it look cooler. You don't get all this weird blue and then this weird stuff here. You know, you don't get all the weird colors or whatever. It looks all one solid color and it looks really cool. So let's actually quick jump back into TEdit. If I can find it back here now. Let's see. Of course, I closed the folder that I needed. Here we are. Maybe. There we go. Looks like Ice Cat needs to do some housekeeping in his computer a little bit because things are all over the place. Alright, let's bring TEdit back in here. One thing that you should do is, before you open a world, you should actually close out of Terraria completely, just because it tends to do funky things if you don't close out of Terraria and you run TEdit while editing the world. So I just recommend closing Terraria out completely. Let's open Builder World back up here. Give it a moment, and I'm going to change this so that the time is not day. You got your time here. Uncheck that. We're going to make it night. And I'm going to go to save. Close that out. Now we'll open up Terraria again. Maybe. And while it's waiting, I'll just kind of give you information where I got this this track. There is a place called I want to say it's Free. I can't even remember. I want to say it's like FMV or FVM. One of those two. It's like Free something music. And they have a lot of good tracks on there. Some really impressive stuff. Bunch of royalty-free music, and you just have to make sure that you include the artist's name and the song and where to find the stuff. I mean, that's the right thing to do. You can't claim it as your own. If you do, then you should probably get a nail put in your foot. I don't know why it's taking Terraria so long to open. Yeah, it's ready to launch. I want to play the game. Thanks. Now we gotta wait even longer. Alright, so Terraria is open. Let it load up here. There we go, single player. Play. Now when we go into here, it should be night. Yes, it is. Okay. So now what we can do is we're going to go into Terraria's camera mode, which you can get into by pressing F1 on your keyboard while in game. And we're going to actually set the frame, and we're going to take a snapshot. You can't take a snapshot until you set the frame. Setting the frame is pretty easy. You just click on this button kind of place it where you want it, right here, and I'm going to drag it all the way down here. And let's see, I want only like maybe 3 of these. 1, 2, 3. And on this side, let's go 1, 2, and 3. And then down below, let's do only 3 as well. 1, 2, 3. There it goes, 3 blocks. So we have a nice frame here. What you want to do is make sure that you set the options to not capture the entity, so it doesn't capture this bad guy down here, it doesn't capture me. It's just going to be the building itself, like nobody is here. And then what you're going to do is simple, just take snapshot. And if you would like, while you're in the game, you can open up the folder, or it would be under your My Documents game where your worlds are. You know how I told you that there was that capture photo? It's the same thing here. There's your captures. So what we're going to do is let's take this capture that we just made and let us open it maybe with Photoshop. There we go. Open with Photoshop. There, and we have like a nice you know, a nice image here, nice loading screen. What I'm going to do is basically to make a overlay. I'm going to do a 1280 by 720 overlay for my OBS, and what we're going to do is new and go 1280 720, and you got that. So I'm just going to go Control A, Control C. So we're going to copy it right in there. Control V to paste, Control T to transform. Sorry if you're using a Mac, I do not know the shortcuts for a Mac. We're going to just drag it to the corner here, make it look right in the center, hit enter to apply. And then what we're going to do here is we're going to take care of this this black box here, because I don't really want that black box to be in here, so we'll just use our magic wand tool to get rid of it. So I'm going to go Control D, or no, I'm sorry, delete, Control D to deselect. Now you can see it's kind of grungy in there. You can go in and edit it out. I find it easy to just do this. As long as we're not cutting off the lights themselves. I just put a square in there, I delete that out. Still got a little bit of grunge on the side, but you won't see too much of that. We're going to turn off the background, so it is transparent as you can see, so we'll put our webcam under that. But what I want to do is I always like to make what's called a webcam hide. Basically it's an image that goes under here for your webcam, and you can put it right on here, but I find it easier to line up the webcam. It makes it more precise with this out of the way. So what we're going to do is let's just create a new layer here, and what I want to do is just down in here, I'm actually probably going to, let's take this, let's click on our original layer. I'm going to copy this paw, make it a little bit, oops, nope, Control D, I gotta make it a little bit bigger, there we go. I'm going to Control C to copy that, Control V to paste, and we now have our paw. Let's go Control T to transform it to what we want it to be. Actually, before we do that, hit Escape. I'm going to take my clone stamp tool to get rid of those ugly lights that are in there. So where is that? There it is. And we'll just zoom in nice and close so we can see what we're doing. I'm just going to pick a spot here, stamp that, edit that out of there. May not be perfect, but it's alright. It's not going to be too noticeable. Control D. Oops, not D. Sometimes I just hit buttons to hit buttons. Alright, we're going to go back to our marquee tool. I know there's shortcuts for all this, but I have not learned them yet or committed them to memory. So what we're going to do now, Control, make sure we're on this original layer, Control C, excuse me, Control V, and now we have our paw. I think that was our other paw. I'm going to delete that one. Nope. Shouldn't have deleted that one. This is the one with the old paw. There we go. So what we're going to do is we're going to move this paw up over here. I'm going to transform it by hitting Control T. Transform it down so that it, you know, I want to make sure that it's going to fit nice kind of in the middle of this webcam. That's cool. But I am putting it over here for a reason, and I'll show you that in a second. We're going to just hit apply because that's looks good to me. Now we can see a little bit of weirdness going on here. It doesn't follow with the pattern, so we're going to delete that out. We'll just use our magic wand and just select it so it's like that. Control Shift I to inverse it. Nope, my bad. Don't inverse it, just delete it. Control D. There we go. And now we have our paw that's all by itself. Minimize that, or zoom out. I'm going to move this over here, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get the marquee tool again. I'm going to select it with this kind of background around it. Actually, I'm going to do it a little bit closer, and you'll see why here in a second. I'm going to make it pretty big. Get it shifted right. There we go. Control. Now you're going to hit Control Shift C. That will copy everything with it. And Control V to paste. And then you basically have your webcam hide here. We'll just move that out of the way. And you can see that you have your webcam hide here, which is nice. And we'll kind of even that up here once we get into OBS. It'll look really, really nice. It'll cover all this stuff, and it won't be too noticeable that it's you know, that it's out of there. One other thing that I do kind of want to do actually, because I like to mess around with it a bit, is I want to take our paw, which is still here. I'm going to give it an orange overlay, just like that, normal, and then just some orange. Okay, let's get rid of that old paw. Let's go here. Control Shift C. Control V to paste it. Got my webcam. My cam hide. Oh, cham hide. There we go. And we'll turn that off for the moment. We'll turn off this paw for the moment. Make sure, yep, that's still on there. We don't need this paw really anymore. It takes up all this space that we don't really need. What we'll do is we'll actually take that webcam hide, put it under this overlay here. Let's move it so that it's right up here. We can see, hello, he's peeking out here. Control T to transform it, and let's just make it a little bit bigger. And bam, that paw hides right in there quite nicely. I'm going to minimize it down on just a hair here. just so it fits in there nice without showing any of the white. There we go. And apply that. Oops. And there we go. We got that here. We still have these ugly things in here, so let's get rid of those real quick, just the same way we did before with our clone stamp tool. Hit Alt, pick a spot, and then just color in. Oh, make sure you're on the actual layer. And then Alt, hit that one. I could get it to do what I want. There we go. Now, what we're going to do is we have that all set up. So let's take off our webcam hide for the moment. And we are going to go Control-Shift-S to save as. And make sure you save your PSD file, which I already have here, so I'm not going to do that. But I'm going to save this as a PNG. And let's just call this, since I already have this in here, we'll call it loading 2. Yours should be loading 1 or whatever you want to name it. I'm going to save it, hit OK, and what we're also going to do is we're going to make a copy of our webcam hide so we can import that in. So let's turn on our webcam hide. Let's go like this with our magic wand. Oh, there we go. D, get out of that. There we go. Control-Shift-I to inverse, so it's just around our webcam hide. Then you do a Control-Shift-C, Control-N for new, hit enter, Control-V to paste, Control-Shift-S to save as, and we'll just do a PNG as well. We'll call this webcam hide 2. Save that. Okay. And now we can go into OBS. And this is going to be the part where we create it. So what I'm going to do is do a new scene collection by hitting new. It's going to go blank for you here in a second, but I'll get it back up in just a moment. I'm going to call it Terraria, Terraria, cat loading. Now, one thing that I want to do is delete this space in here because I'm going to rename Terraria cat loading. For my source, it's the same thing, but it's got to have a space, so it doesn't like best that I can. Um, you know, make sure that you also, if you like the video, make sure you follow it. If you There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Sorry, I was distracted. If you liked the video and you found it informational, please like and subscribe. There should be a subscribe thing right here somewhere in that general area up in that direction, possibly. You'll see it pop up. I don't know how to do this anymore. This is like the 5th time that I've done this today, so yeah. I'm Yeah, that's what I do for you people. I love it. Um, anyway, like, subscribe, comment, let me know if things need to be improved, if you can't hear me, if I need a new webcam, which I definitely do need a new webcam. I might go out and buy that right now, as a matter of fact. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Um, keep watch. There'll be more. Everybody have a good day. Okay, so now that we've got the scene collection started up here, you can see that I named it Terraria Cat Loading, which actually is good. I'm going to name it Terraria Cat Loading because this will be the loading screen. We have our webcam set up here. We have our 2 displays set up here as well. We need to now add the actual overlay, and we also need to add the webcam hide on it. So we're going to do that at this moment here. Let's just hit the plus, and it's basically both are just an image, so we're going to call this Terraria Cat Loading. And I want to point something out here with OBS Studio that I found very frustrating. Terraria Cat Loading right here, you'll see that there's no space between Terraria and Cat, and here there is. Actually, that's Terraric. There you go, Terraria Cat. And that's because OBS does not like when you name scenes and sources the same name. So you have to change something a little bit different. I could add overlay over here, but I like to have it all kind of, I don't know, that's the way I like to name it. So I'm going to hit OK, and now we're going to look for the image, and the image is under my, wherever you saved it is where yours will be. Mine is in this area here. So I'm just going to hit loading number 2, and that shows the image here, and then we can actually basically hit the shift button, and if we just click and drag this point here, we'll see that it's fluid. If I let go of the shift button, it is not fluid. So there's a little pro tip for OBS for you. So we're going to put that in here. That gets all that. Let's get the display capture up here right away first so that you can see that. What you'll see in a moment once I move the display capture up is that I'm putting the display capture above my loading screen. I'm going to do that with a second display capture as well. Very important. Otherwise it's under that. Webcam we're going to leave under here, and let's quickly add the webcam hide. So I'm going to call it Terraria Cat. Let's call it Cam Background. And we'll find the image that we used. We'll go number 2. Go number 2. That's funny. And we'll go OK. There's our little image. We're going to actually put that under our webcam, and we'll get that sized here in a moment. As you can see, my my actual loading screen fell into place pretty, or my desktop fell into place pretty easily. Yours, you'll probably have to just kind of put it in place here, but this one went into place pretty easily. I think it's because I've done this video like 5 times already, because I keep messing up on something. So that's kind of where it is, but you'll have to just kind of move it around like we did with the overlay. Again, you just have to hit shift, grab a corner, and drag it around, and you can kind of manipulate it where you want it to be. I'm going to bring this down just a bit. I'm holding down shift, right clicking, grabbing that little circle there, and we're going to do the same thing with our webcam here. Since we can't really see it, but that's okay, we're going to make it fit evenly in this little area. So let's just go like that, and I'm going to put it, if it'll let me, up here a little bit. I'm going to have some of that blackness in there, just because it looks, sometimes OBS can be a pain in the butt. There we go. It won't let you grab the things that you want to grab. Let me grab it. Let me grab it. So I'm going to just make sure that we got, I'm going to go, yeah, I'm just going to fill my webcam area. I don't want to leave any of that blackness. Make it look a little bit rough. It might make it look ugly, but you can always adjust it to your liking. This is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to have it like that. That's good enough for me for now. And then I'm going to get my cam background. And again, if you want to, you can leave the webcam smaller. If you want, it won't look as rough around the edges. Let's actually do that. Leave this webcam. Now that we got our cam background in there, won't matter as much. And put that right in there about. Maybe extend this a little bit so it's not as far away from the edge. Extend that a bit. And that looks alright. I mean, it's still, you're seeing a little bit of the edges here, but for the most part, I think that looks alright. At least for this tutorial. But yeah, that's pretty much it. You just add your images in, place them where you want to in OBS, and you've got it made. Let's do it one more time here. I'm going to create a scene from scratch for my in-game scene, which I already created, just so you can see what we're doing here. So we'll just hit the plus. Terraria. God, I can't spell. A-R-I-A. Cat. In game. And obviously you're not going to see anything at this point in time. I got to add a display capture first. There you go. And we're going to add our other display capture. And then we're going to put this display capture down under here. Add our image for our webcam hide. And the nice part about it is we already have it existing, so, oh, yep, we do, right here. The background, click on that, so it's already in there. And then we're going to add our video capture device, which is our webcam. Super easy to do this time around. Then we're going to add another image for our overlay. Cat in game. Oh, that name is already in use, so in game 2. Oh, you can see why. I see why. Because I named that the same. Like I said, OBS doesn't like your scenes and your sources to be the same. This one is the same. I should have not had a space in between that. So I'm just going to temporarily call it that. And then let's go in-game. I think that's the one that I want. Open that. And this is the one that I messed around with in Photoshop earlier and didn't do the video for. Let's quick fix this, just because I'm anal retentive like that. There's that one, and now we can change this back to what it's supposed to be. And so what we'll do is the same thing, we'll just click on that to get our red lines up here, and we'll just hit shift and click and drag on the corner there. Put that in the area, get the webcam situated where we want it to be. call it good there. Put our webcam down under here. Get our display capture up. Put that where we want it to be. That's pretty good for now. And you can see the other capture down here. Bob's Burgers, yay! Everyone likes Bob's Burgers. Well, not everyone. I know some people who do not like Bob's Burgers. I guess to each their own, right? I know my best friend hates it because of the way the wife talks. I can't stand that voice. Alright, we got the webcam, or the second background in there. Now let's turn off the webcam itself. Let's get the background selected. Oh, turned off the wrong one. There we go. Get this background in here to where we like it to be. Something like that. Doesn't have to be perfect for right now. Turn back on our webcam. Webcam hide, there's that. Put your Twitch chat in there and your alerts, and it's all set up. Then you can go back to the actual loading screen, and you don't need to have these display captures on. And this will just show when you're loading. You can turn off the webcam until you're ready to use it. And once you're ready to start your stream and say hi to everybody, you just say, hey everybody, how's it going? And then you can switch to the in-game and start playing your games. Easy as that. Pretty sweet. I will be doing some more tutorials on this. Let me switch back to my very first desktop webcam. I'll be doing some more tutorials on this video here, especially with doing more tutorials on this video. Goodness gracious. I will be doing more tutorials on this theme for Twitch, making it a little bit better. I've got a couple other ideas in my head. This was very, very basic. I just started doing this last night, and I'm like, oh, I could do this, I could do this, I could do this. So we'll definitely be building on it, making it look cooler, so make sure that you watch out for those videos. They will be coming up, and make sure that you do like and subscribe to the videos that I'm making. It will be somewhere up in, I'm guessing, this area here in the corner, if I can point my finger in the right direction on my webcam. Nope, there, it'll be up there somewhere, up there, whatever, it'll be above here somewhere. You'll see it. Should pop up right about now. There's something else that I was going to say, and now I completely forgot. Oh, I will have all the links to the programs that we use today in the videos. The link to the TEdit, a link to the wiki on TEdit, a link to OBS Studio if you don't have that. No links to Adobe Photoshop because you have to find that one on your own. Or use Paint, like I said, or use GIMP, which is a Adobe Photoshop free open source type thing. But yeah, you know, now that you know how to do it, go wild. If you make any creations that you learned from this video, please share them in the comments. If you have any suggestions about the stream in particular, since I am new at this, I know I need a new webcam. I need a new webcam, so I might go out and purchase that right now. But if the stream's not loud enough, I know I talk kind of quiet. I know I stumble over my words quite often. But yeah, just leave constructive criticism. Don't leave jerk comments. That's not cool, man. That's not cool. But yeah, hopefully you learned something, and hopefully you'll get some creative ideas out of this. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.